learners, welcome to our grammar lesson on this Tuesday that kind of feels like a Monday. In this lesson, we're going to do a little bit of reviewing about nouns, and we're going to learn some more about something we talked about a bit last week in our paragraph editing about the SALT, possessive nouns. So in this lesson, I'm going to go through the slideshow that I usually go through and we learn about and we practice. And I'll have some instructions for you at the end. So let's get started, shall we? Yes, we shall. Well, this slide says possessive nouns, and let's review. What is a noun? On the bottom it says, give your partner some examples of a common, proper, concrete, and abstract noun. Now, you might not have a partner nearby, but maybe you have a parent nearby or a stuffed animal nearby. So, or yourself. Yourself could be your partner. So, come up with an example of a common noun. I'll pause for a second. What's a common noun? Common noun is any old noun. Chair, teacher, person. Okay. What's an example of a proper noun? Tell your partner or yourself. What's a proper noun? I often think proper like the Queen of England. Proper noun is a specific person, specific place, or specific thing. Proper noun. Mrs. Florick. It's me. Shoreline Christian School. All capital letters, all a specific place or person or thing. Ooh, then this is something we talked about last week. Concrete noun. Something you can see or smell or touch. Playground. Carpet. Glasses. Okay. How about abstract? Abstract are usually ideas. Can't see them. They're like an idea, but they are a thing. So we used this example last week a lot. Happiness, permission. There's a bunch of other things. Overview again. Right. Let's move to the next page. I'll click on this one. So now, possessive nouns show that something is owned by someone or something. So the word possess, P-O-S-S-E-S-S, so many S's. To possess something is to own something. So I own this sweatshirt that I'm wearing right now. Mine. Somebody else's. Mine. Like, have you ever seen Finding Nemo? Mine. The seagulls, they go, mine, mine, mine. So they are possessive. So possessive nouns show that something is owned by someone or something. That's the next one. So here are some examples of possessive nouns. This first one says, the dog's bowl. This one says, the girl's dress. Do you notice anything about these possessive nouns? You might notice, yes, they're blue. You will also notice that they have that special little line before the S. What is that special little line called? Apostrophe. Yes, hopefully you said an apostrophe, Mrs. Florick. Yes. So possessive nouns have an apostrophe. Here's another example. Dad, apostrophe S, car. Dad's car. Whose car is it? It's Dad's. Mrs. Smith's class. Whose class is it? It's Mrs. Smith's. apostrophe S. Can you come up with an example of a possessive noun? You might say Emma's dog, Lemon. So that would be Emma apostrophe S, dog. Whose dog is it? It's Emma's, apostrophe S. Now, here's where it gets complicated. Let's move on to the next. It's getting spicy here. Spicy, spicy. Now, so nouns that don't end in an S already can be made possessive, can show ownership by adding an apostrophe S. So again, Mary's house. Mary has a house. Mary apostrophe S. Phone's screen. The phone has a screen. Screen on that phone. Phone apostrophe S. You try. The ear belonging to the boy. What do you think? Who is the owner? And what do they own? The answer to that one would be the boy, B-O-Y apostrophe S, the boy's ear. The boy's ear, apostrophe, B-O-Y apostrophe S. Okay. So now some nouns end in an S already because it's plural. So last week we talked about plural possessive nouns. So nouns that already end in an S can be made possessive by just adding an apostrophe at the end. Here are these examples. The ant's hill. Ants, there's more than one, and then all of those ants have this hill. So you would do A-N-T-S apostrophe. Here's another one, the monkey's cage. Maybe you're going to the zoo. There's more than one monkey, so that's why there's an S there. So you make monkey plural just by adding an S. And then you do an apostrophe because there's more than one monkey and they are all in this cage. Okay, now you try this next one. The house belonging to the neighbors. Think, who's the owner and what do they own? Where does the apostrophe need to be? Here's the answer. The neighbors, N-E-I-G-H-B-O-R-S apostrophe house. So your neighbors, they have a house. The apostrophe needs to be at the end of neighbors. So let's practice. I'm going to type it in. You'll see. So the paper belongs to Mr. Elliot. So who owns something? Oh yes, correct. Mr. Elliot owns something. Notice I am capitalizing the Mr., putting a period, capital E-L-L-I-O-T, spelled out right there for me. To capitalize a letter, remember you hold the shift button down and then you find that letter you want to be capitalized. Okay. Now, what does he own? I'm going to kind of skip this box in the middle. He has a paper. Just going to put a paper there. And now we need to think, do we need to add just an apostrophe or do we need to do an apostrophe S? So is there an S there already? Nope. So we need to add an apostrophe S. So I double click in my box. The apostrophe is on the same button as the quotation mark. It's the same button and you just have to click that button. You don't have to hold the shift button down or anything. So the apostrophe is next to the enter button by your right pinky finger. Apostrophe S. Now normally I would just go like this, Mr. Elliot. I wouldn't separate it. I would do Mr. Elliott apostrophe S like that for the sake of this assignment for right now. Okay, let's do this next slide. The nest belonging to the birds. So who owns something here? The birds. B-I-R-D-S. And what do they own? They own a nest. Now, does this already have an S at the end? It sure does. So all we have to do is add an apostrophe. We don't have to do an apostrophe S because this is a plural possessive word. So I'm going to get you started. Your next task after watching this video is going to be going back to the Google Classroom assignment and clicking on this PowerPoint. And you're going to see this exact same screen on your Chromebook, and you're going to practice. I will show you on mine the first two examples, and then you're going to be able to do it yourself on your own computer. So let's practice. So the room that belongs to Ryan. Okay, so we ask ourselves again, just like this last one, who owns something? Ryan owns something. Ryan is a proper noun. Got to capitalize it. So you hold the shift button down, put the R-Y-A-N. And now, instead of just moving on to what he owns, I'm going to think about if I need to do an apostrophe S or just an apostrophe. So is Ryan plural right now? Are there more than one? Ryans? No. So Ryan apostrophe S, Ryan's, and what belongs to Ryan? His room. Okay. We'll do one more. Let's do this next one. The book that belongs to the library. So think about who owns something or what owns something. The library. And what do they own? The book. So do we need to add an apostrophe or an apostrophe S? Well, there's not an S there already. We do need to do an apostrophe that's over by the enter button. Apostrophe S. And what does the library own? A book. Okay, so your next task is, again, go back to the Google Classroom document. You're going to complete this slide, and you're going to complete the next slide that looks like this. There are some hidden boxes. All you have to do is click in this area right here. I'll make these boxes bigger. All you have to do is click in the box and then start typing. Don't just type random things. You have to actually answer the questions. Okay, so that's your next thing that you have to do. And I will stop my screen sharing. And good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.